Recognize. Welcome aboard.
I'm deeply concerned for the welfare of our transportation workforce in Pennsylvania, of course. Mr. Parsons, these workers are forced to work in an extreme heat without federal safety standards. What lessons can we take from the states that have set heat standards or those that have eliminated worker protections?
Yeah, so thank you for that question, Mr. Senator. And what I'll say to that is we need codified heat protections across the country. There's only, in this whole country, I think there's 44 states that do not have a federal OSHA rule. There's 6 states that have somewhat a version of it, and there's 3 that have a permanent rule. So without mentioning all those states and messing that up, California kind of set the way a long time ago, and Oregon and Washington State jumped on board last year after the extreme weather and heat-related conditions. So we like those rules in place. We like them codify best practices. And so in the construction world, unfortunately, there's a lot of good actors out there that do the right thing, fortunately. But unfortunately, the sometimes smaller contractors either don't have the means or the ways to implement programs unless they absolutely have to. So we have to set the standard straight across the board, have codified rules for everyone, and have minimum criteria to base our worker protections on.
Thank you. Of course, extreme weather events, particularly flooding for our transportation infrastructure in Pennsylvania is really wreaking havoc. Dr. Flannery, can you walk us through why it is so important that states and agencies have a consistent source of federal emergency relief funding that they know it will be there into the future?
Thank you, Senator. So one of the things that that agencies need in terms of the emergency relief program, and some of the changes I mentioned earlier in my opening have allowed for the use of resilient designs post-disaster. So we've seen changes within the ER program that have been very beneficial, and I think states are doing the best that they can with the limited dollars that they have to address the needs of their systems through their asset management programs, but sometimes they just don't have the ability to get to those needs before these major events occur. So continual funding of the FHWA emergency relief program is essential to maintain system operations.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, I cede my remaining time. Thank you.
Thank you. Senator Mullins.